This is a tremendously sad evening for not just the British family, but the whole Commonwealth family. Her Majesty the Queen was a symbol of British stability, Commonwealth values throughout the entire British and Commonwealth family. I mean, she had reigned for over 70 years. That's a mark that will never be surpassed. We will never see that again in our lifetimes. It's important to reflect that from the Gibraltar point of view, she was our monarch at every important step of our constitutional self-government in the last 60 or 70 years. And her mark, she touched so many people in the Commonwealth, and she's left her mark, and it will be a mark that will not be forgotten.
And it's difficult to overstate how much stability she brought to the British family and the Commonwealth.
Well, it's incredible, really. I mean, she will go down in history as having been that symbol of stability. Only, even in her last days, only on Tuesday, she met the incoming British Prime Minister. Well, she looked frail then, but, no one could foresee that days later here we would be, because when we've all grown up with Her Majesty the Queen as our monarch, and it's difficult to imagine life without her. So it'll take a long time, I think, for people to adjust. And as I say, when several generations of Gibraltarians and people in the Commonwealth have grown up with Her Majesty as head of the Commonwealth, I think it's going to be a difficult act, certainly, to follow.
So you, as well as being the leader of the opposition, you're, a very keen scholar of constitutions. And what would you say about the role that she has played for Britain in recent decades?
She's played a tremendous role in the Commonwealth. She remains head of the Commonwealth. The Commonwealth is an organisation made up of 54 independent states, and they are tremendously diverse. From Ghana to Barbados to Australia. These are very different countries, and yet they all come together because they feel that British and Commonwealth Association, those historic ties. And Her Majesty had managed to navigate, not just because you've got to remember also that when she came to the throne, many of those countries were not independent. They became independent in the 50s, 60s and 70s, and she has seen those Commonwealth states become independent, and yet they retained that association with the Commonwealth, and a lot of that is a mark and testimony to her own skill and ability to be that discreet and embodiment of Commonwealth and British values that everyone has wanted to continue an association with.
And on a more emotional level, what do you think people in Gibraltar are feeling tonight?
Well, I think they'll feel a sense of loss, and it'll be difficult to adjust, as I say. People felt a huge sense of loss when the Duke of Edinburgh, of course, passed away not that long ago. And, they had been together for so many years, and Her Majesty has now also passed away. I think people will feel that emotion, because of the emotional ties that we have with Britain and with the royal family in particular. People will feel that sense of loss. Of course, our thoughts are with the royal family, with King Charles, and indeed the Queen Consort. And I am sure I speak on behalf of so many people in Gibraltar when I say that we are all thinking of them and sending them our best wishes at this time.